evening, everybody. This is Electrical Essence. I want to thank you for joining me. And tonight, co-hosting with me is the sultry centaur, the lady of the shadows, the mistress of the shadows, isn't it?
It's Lady of the Veil, Mistress of the Shadows.
See, and I will get it right. Storm Dancer. No, give us just one moment. We're gonna jam out to some Tony Ramone. However, I can never get her name right, but that's okay. We'll be right back.
Spinning them stacks and I'm getting it back with the quickness. These bitches keep whispering all day, but your nigga wanna come my way. Your nigga wanna come my way. Yo, baby, my baby, but only on payday. Give me that money. I don't wanna talk to you. Don't look at me funny when it comes to this shit. When I kill this, you gon' need a witness. Yo, baby, wanna come my way. Got something he want to say.
All right, so tonight's topic, we are going to, you know what, I'll have to name the episode later once we get more into it, because it's a couple different things that we're going to be touching on. And hold on here, it's a little text message out there. The one thing that we are going to touch base on, which is something that's way overdue, is, I'm not even sure how to even put this into words. Storm Dancer, could you help me out here?
How about the student trying to be the teacher?
Before the student is ready to be the teacher, even though students do teach us as we teach them, but still,
yes.
It's a level of not only respect, but it's also a level of intelligence, and it's a level of don't be a fucking dumb.
Right. You know, and it's like, you know, the things that students tend to teach teachers is how to be better teachers.
Yes.
And how to look at things from a new perspective.
Or a new method of doing something, or a new way of something, yes.
Right. And sometimes they come up with some pretty fucking awesome stuff that, you know, you can take out and like, the person who is, okay, let's look at it like research, hypothesis, and theories, okay? So, in the scientific world, you have a student who has a hypothesis, and they present it to their teacher. And their teacher tests this hypothesis, right? And they are able to help the student create a theory which is able to be applied and is able to be manipulated and combined in a synergistic effect to the previously applied theories to improve upon it. However, that does not mean that the student who is still learning the base theories should go out and start teaching the base theories.
Right.
And so they may be able to help the teacher explain their new founded theories, or they may be able to teacher assist, if you will, in things. But when it comes to the old, the foundational aspects, they're still learning those. And just because you have found something that may potentially be better for some, or could potentially improve an area, doesn't mean you should discard the old. From a practical standpoint, let's take nursing, okay? One of the things that we always tell people is, you know, don't throw out the old for the new, but also don't discount the new. So there are many, many old ways of killing germs, of preventing disease from spreading, from keeping people from getting sick or helping people heal from sickness. But one of the foundational theories, one of the foundational components to nursing that we teach everybody, and doctors are supposed to be teaching it too, and it was discovered by Florence Nightingale, is hand washing.
Oh,
okay?
how to get more people to wash their hands, that'd be great.
Right. So we don't teach people not to wash their hands, even if they're using those alcohol hand sanitizers and things like that. We still teach them that the number one way to prevent illness, to help curb illnesses and things like that, is to wash your hands with good old-fashioned soap and water. It is the friction, it is the hand motion, it is the water washing away those germs. Notice we never say hot water. Why? Because hot water opens pores. That's a whole biology thing. Anyway, hand washing. It is a fundamental basis of disease prevention, okay? Kind of like learning tarot is a fundamental basis for astrology, or astrology is a fundamental basis for learning tarot
or psychology, because I was doing behavioral psychology with astrology before I even got into college and took psychology.
Right. And there are fundamental things that go hand in hand. Can you improve upon and expand upon these? Absolutely. You know, so somebody found that just washing your hands with soap and water is good, but somebody found that washing your hands for 30 seconds precisely is better than just rubbing your hands together and putting it under soap or under the water and rinsing the germs away. So a student took a theory that the longer you wash your hands, and had the teacher test it, and they were able to prove it, you know? So it's like that. But it really takes you working hand in hand with somebody who has that base knowledge and helping to explain why things are the way they are, in order to expand and make something better, you know? You have to have that foundational knowledge. And if you try to jump the gate and you try to, I don't know, if you just learned how to cast a spell, for instance, but you suddenly believe that you know how to do complex spells and rituals, well, no, just because you know how to light a candle and say a few words and direct your energy doesn't mean you understand how to do that in an intense ritual. You know, there are differences, and there are things that you need to learn.
And just because you learned what the astrological zodiac signs were and the order they're in, which a lot of people don't even know that drives me insane, doesn't mean that you can just, you know, start charging people for in-depth, like, natal chart readings, because any dumbass knows that you can go online to just about any astrological website and get a free birth chart or symmetry or transit report done for free.
That is actually pretty freaking accurate.
That is pretty accurate. Now, there are some sites that are more accurate than others, but there's a reason why most of them are just, you know, they're accurate, but there's more to it. That's the thing people don't understand. There's a lot more to it than just that. The stuff that they don't give out for free, or the stuff that you just can't have easy access to, that you have to actually pay an astrologer for. That's the shit that they spent 15, 20 years freaking, you know, their lives studying and researching and to be able to provide as a service.
Right, or have spent intensive, like, day in and day out, reading book after book, you know, referencing things for you know, years.
Experimental, a lot of experimental methods and concepts, and playing with other people's theories, and taking things that other astrologers and from different principles have done, and not only experimenting with them, but seeing if, like, and that's something that I've done off and on here for the last couple of years is when somebody like an astrologer has a method that they've came up with themselves, or that they were able to formulate together, and they're pretty confident in it. I'll check it out too. I'll run my theories on it, run charts and see how accurate it is, and if it's something pretty solid, then yeah, it's something that I'll use, And then of course, when it comes to my own stuff, there's still stuff that I'm experimenting with from a couple years ago that I'm still, not quite at that. Okay, is this something that I want to use really as a, an aspect, or something I want to use, like with my practice? And there are some things that I have perfected of my own when it comes into looking into charts and everything. The only thing that I'm next to do is I just need to get a lot of it down on paper. And the stuff that I do have down on paper, I just need to get it organized out, and then also too, with my students, show them, because I mean, there's a lot more to it. It's like just like being a doctor. There's people that are doctors, and then there's people that specialize.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And here's another thing that people fail to remember is, okay, a doctor who graduates from medical school with a C is still a doctor.
Yeah, people forget that. Doesn't mean he's a good doctor.
A doctor who graduates from medical school with a C may actually be a better doctor than the doctor that graduated from school with an A. It is all about learning how to apply it properly.
And the doctor that graduated with a C may have just had a lot going on and just didn't do, or doesn't test well.
Exactly. So, people need to really take things into consideration. And if you've got somebody who is out there and they can pop out an astrology chart to you in as little as an hour, guess what? You could have gotten that shit for free.
Now, they do have astrological software programs, stuff that you can buy. Like, a lot of professional astrologers have them. Because, they have their own calculators, and some of them even build or design their own, software with their own, programming and everything. But
all
those...
the master astrologers I've worked with, and I've had the pleasure of watching and listening to and things like that, they may be able to go through your chart and look at it as an overview and be able to pop some stuff off like you do. You can freestyle a chart out.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
But in order for you to actually give somebody an astrological chart, a reading, a this is what's going on, you take, and more than 24 hours, you allow yourself time to dig in, to look at aspects. You allow yourself time to, and then your reading may only last 20 minutes, but you know what? You've taken 2 days to go, okay, this is why you're psychic. Because you have the asteroid blah 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 here in your 5th house, that is, and you can break it down really hard, really fast, and you can explain the things in a manner that makes sense to people.
Right, and a lot of times too, like whenever when I'm just like explaining like a chart, I know a lot of people, it's like completely alien, foreign to them, because they're not able to follow because they don't understand, the words that are coming out of my mouth. But my experience with astrologers, and mind you, like even just recently, I went and I applied for it was like for natal chart reading, and then because a lot of astrologers, they'll have the software that will do that. They will, they'll send you an email, but the thing is, what I hate is the spamming afterwards. Oh, Melanie, you've got such great blah 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 with this transit and blah, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's great and wonderful, but it's and that's another thing too, people don't understand, like, yeah, the brain is infinite, and and I've got a pretty good memory when it comes to things that I need to memorize, but I am not going to remember all the hundreds of books and all the different, of everything that I've learned. I mean, because I do charts by hand until I'm able to afford one of the big, because there is a software one that I really do want. It's like $1,000, and it does, it does natal chart readings, and it prints all that out. You can get printed out, but and it's also got different little other programs and stuff on it. But I do charts by hand. On the other laptop, I do have a small software astrological software on there, but it's doesn't have anything like any extra bells or whistles on it. But I do mine by hand because I use a lot of different methods, and I look at different methods, and then plus I'm still like I'm only 3 years into doing Vedic astrology, and I've correlated in Vedic and with the Western, and the way I do it, it takes some time. I mean, yeah, you're going to want a natal chart where you're going to want a reading or a session with me like that day that you booked, but I'm sorry, but there's other, it takes time. It takes...
It does. And it takes energy. And one of the things, like, I know that I have gotten a chart from you and a chart from somebody else, and,
then it was two different chart readings.
Two different chart readings, and I know the chart that I got from the other individual. It had some really good stuff in it, and it was accurate on many aspects for the system that they used. But because the system that they used, and that's their preference, there were key aspects of my personality that they missed out on, and that's okay. You know what? Again. They inputted my information. They read it. They were able to correlate.
And it was, but the person is an amazing astrologer.
Huh?
But that person's an amazing astrologer and is good at what they do, right?
But if you tried to have one of these people who is just learning astrology, or who uses cafe astrology, let's just put it out there, who uses something like cafe astrology to give you your natal reading. Honey, you could have taken 2 minutes, and then you could print that shit off yourself.
Yeah. Also, a lot of the big astrological websites have memberships to where you can join part of their membership team, and you can get access to stuff that's not for free. Or just like Astro.com, I like Astro.com because I like the way their charts look, but I also work with multiple different chart styles. And Vedic, that's equal houses, but I love cusp housing because I specialize in cusps. The ones, people that were born, like at the ending or beginning of another astrological sign, and I also like looking at the houses that way because it's a blending of energies that people fail to recognize.
And people, if they took the time to sit there and look at it, it doesn't matter whether you're in a cusp or not. In my opinion, you are still going to pull from the sign that's in front of you, the sign that's behind you, and the sign that's across from you to some degree.
Yes, I'm always pull from what's across from you and from what's on the side of you, which is.
But the amount that you're going to pull from it, and now mind you, folks, I have been channeling astrology for years.
Many people don't know it.
I am now learning the practicality and learning how to apply what it means to have an eighth house sun, and that is through my wonderful mentor here. But
and that's neat that you said that, because I love seeing when people are channeling information, because some people, a lot of people that are channelers don't realize that they're like the access to information, and a lot of people have been a lot of people will channel spells, a lot of people will channel, there's channeling, and then there's of course that soul knowledge, which is a little bit to me, I feel it's a little bit different, but
because given to you. What is given to you, it's your link with the universe or whatever. I channel charts.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I could channel charts until 2 years ago, but I've been doing charts for years. And it was when I went to do chart readings at a party, and I was like, wait a minute. And then that's when I realized that's right. but it's the same as channeling tarot cards. A lot of people don't understand. Yeah, you can read them, but when you can read and channel them, that's different, because channeling is being able to not only understand what's coming to you through what you're channeling, but it's like reading symbols. A lot of people can't read symbols, and symbols is actually a lot more easier to learn than actual words.
Yes, and it's like, symbols are easy. People need to learn symbols, because symbols really are easy, okay? You look at the symbol of a bird. What thoughts does a bird bring to mind? Freedom, exploration, birds sing, communication, things like that. It's basic knowledge of what we've learned, what we've learned to associate with things, and applying it. So symbols really are very easy. Now, when you get into astrological symbols and things like that, it's a little different. But basic symbols really are very easy, folks.
That's like learning the basic symbols and tarot, because the tarot, see, that's the thing I get people like, oh, I read oracle cards, but I can't read tarot, and I don't understand astrology. They make oracle cards that are crossed with tarot cards with the symbols, and that learning tarot, if you can read regular tarot, you should be able to learn astrology because it's all the same symbols.
Right. And it's like,
you'll be able to understand the cards more, too, if you understand what symbol it is and what message is trying to come through when you're channeling.
Right. And, I think one of the things that scares people about astrology and even the tarot is that you are getting into mathematical sciences, and that scares people.
Well, no, I think, too, that scares people is they look at a chart and they don't know where to start. And it's like, and the one thing that they look at is way more ahead of where they should start. Because a lot of times people are like, I don't know what those lines mean. You're not supposed to look at the lines, dum-dum. It's like, I just want to say that so bad. No, you want to look at the astrological zodiac signs. Look at your chart.
Right.
First thing you should look to is the little grid thing off to the left that says sun and whatever, moon and whatever. So whenever I'm sitting there explaining a chart to somebody, I'm like, yeah, well, you got your moon here, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, you're talking Japanese. Well, if you look at the little guideline thing at the bottom, you will be able to follow me. But no, people don't. That's the thing. And then these are the same dumbasses who learn a little bit of something, and then they want to go out, and then they want to start making money off of it by teaching it or applying it when they barely understand the fucking basics themselves. I'm sorry, but nobody on this fucking world can learn something in a day and turn around and really know what the fuck they're talking about to the point to where they can really put it into their, really make, like, not only just making money off of it, but really know what the fuck they're talking about,
And, one of those things that, irritates me. Let's move away from the metaphysical sciences and move more into just the metaphysical. Spell work.
Yes.
Spell work. It pisses me off when somebody thinks that because they can do a candle working, which, mind you, candle working, in my opinion, you can choose to disagree with me after listening to this or not, but if you listen to my explanation, I think you will agree. Candle working is basic intention work. It is the simplest spell work there is.
Yeah, you can actually do the spell without the candle if you really tried.
It's not real spell work, it's magic work. Okay? A spell is different than intention work.
I would say it's more energy based.
I would too, because you light a candle, you state your intention, and you walk away.
Yep, you put your energy and your intent into it, and let the energy intent go from there.
Right. You don't direct it. Now with spells, you write the spell, you visualize the spell, you move the spell, you literally get in there and you move those energies. It is a master manipulation of the magical energies that are not only in this dimension, but in the astral dimension, there are so many forms of magic. And here's another thing people don't realize. When they go out and they get 3 spells done by 3 different witches or 3 different magic workers, guess what? Those spells all come in, they can all be for the exact same thing, but they're going to be fighting. Those energies are going to be fighting unless you get somebody who knows how to weave magic together. Weaving magic together is not easy. You got to have somebody who's able to see those energy threads, pull them together, align them, and direct them. So somebody who goes, oh, just because you had a spell cast with so-and-so, I can cast on top of that, and it's going to work out fine. Well, it may.
Oh, Bria, that reminds us.
You're not going to know whose spell really worked.
That's crazy. That's when you. Speaking of that, just like you did spell work for somebody, and then I went and I did an energy work with the same person, and we would remember after the aftermath of that with Ling Ling.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was that. Yeah, see, and if I would have known that you I would have never done I wouldn't have done the energy work behind it.
Right, because I always try to come in behind people. Why? Because I'm not going to mess with anybody else's spells. Now I'll break spells and I'll break hexes and things like that. And if it gets real chaotic, like you've had 10 spells cast for love or whatever, I'm going to tell people, you know what, we need to do a complete dispelling and you need to start over.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to wipe the slate clean in order to restart the calculation process. It happens. But you cannot just go to any spell worker, magic worker, and expect your spell to work. If you have 10 people casting for the same thing on you, it doesn't mean that it's making that intent more powerful.
And also, too, if you're going to do different people, which, we're not saying, hey, don't, use different people. What I personally think that a person should have a couple of their go-tos and that's it. But we do have a lot of psychic hoppers. We have a lot of magic jumpers. And personally, like when it comes to spell work, I either am going to do it myself or I'm going to go to somebody that I know and trust and who's reliable, because you go to all these different people doing spell work, half of them can't even do spells.
Well, here's another thing, is some people will go, okay, you want to cast a spell for love tonight. Okay, they cast your spell for love tonight, but then they didn't take into account, any of the astrological alignments or anything like that, and they don't follow up with examining how that spell went down.
But working with planetary alignments and all that, that is a lot more, that's more correlated into like with alchemy and energy work.
It is, but those things take into effect with spell work.
Yeah, just like with using crystals with candle work or using, sometimes just completely simple is good, and sometimes, beefing it up, but,
like, I will have a lot of people go, well, are you going to cast tonight?
No,
I'm not going to cast tonight. The energies are not correct for it. I will cast on this day. I'm not going to tell you what time because I don't want you focusing in on me and fucking with my energies during that time.
And that's another thing, too, that people will mess with, pay for spell work, and then they want to rush the energies of it.
Right, and another thing that I do, and this is where I think that I have a lot of integrity, and I am a lot different than other spellcasters, is once I have cast a spell for you, and mind you, I cast a lot of spells. I watch those energies for about 3 days, and if after the third day I don't feel that energy is settling in the way that I needed it to, I will recast that spell before that 30-day mark that I give people to say, hey, if you don't see any signs of improvement or nothing's starting to happen, message me back and I'll completely redo the spell ritual. I monitor things, and if people pop up, if you want me to read for you and tell you what's going on exactly with that spell, yeah, I'm going to charge you because you're forcing me to do stuff. But if you pop up and we're just chatting, I glance, and if I see something's a little awry, then I go ahead and I recast, because you know what? I have integrity and I take pride in my work. I do. I take extreme pride in my work.
Yes, and another thing with integrity and pride is if you've done something
and I'm also not ashamed to admit.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 spell castings. You know why? Because sometimes the timing is just not right. And no matter who you go to, whether it is a 5-star rated practitioner or not, I guarantee they've got 5 stars, but they don't have 100% success rate.
Right, because it's easy to get 5 stars. Just I've had one review on one of my pages, and I got 5 stars, and that page I don't pay a lot of attention to, so I don't mean shit.
No. Just because you have 5 stars doesn't mean that you have 100% rate. It will never mean that, okay? Because here's the thing. Nothing in life is 100% guaranteed except for death.
And taxes.
Nope. Even taxes aren't guaranteed. You can choose to pay taxes.
Yeah, but you still gotta pay taxes when you buy shit.
This is true, unless you just live completely off the grid and don't ever buy stuff. So, again, this choice. We can argue there or not, but death is the only 100% assured thing. Everything at some point is broken down and dissipates. And even then, you have particles left behind, so nothing ever truly dies. So death,
that's not even guaranteed.
Is not 100% guaranteed.
Yeah, just like people saying, I'm never coming back here again. Watch them reincarnate and be like, damn it.
Right.
And then, now, well, go ahead.
So anybody who ever tells you that they have 100% guarantee rate, run. Run, bitch, run.
Just like somebody who thinks that if somebody thinks that they have all the answers or acts like they know everything and all the answers, run because we all don't have all the answers. If we did have somebody that was the all-knowing, then, we would be bowing down and feeding them grapes right now because they would be God.
Exactly. I had somebody say to me, you know what, I'm just not even going to go there. I'm just going to leave it go.
Well, now, moving away from metaphysical occult stuff and to actual, businesses, and when it comes to counseling and therapy, therapists, and when I say therapy, that includes Reiki work, therapists, that includes counseling, life coaching, mentoring, because there is life coaching a little bit correlated into mentoring, because you have to be able to, when you're mentoring somebody, you have to teach them also, too, ethics and customer sales and service.
Life coaching and spiritual coaching and all that, there are no accredited universities that provide this. So if you ever see somebody who says that they are accredited, they may have a credential from a Udemy workshop.
Udemy, I love that.
Okay? Please understand, these are not federally regulated programs. They are not something that can be nationally or internationally certified because they have no true governing body.
The difference between somebody who says that they are...
You can always make fake little...
Right.
We see people make fake little certificates all the time.
Yes, that's why you want to check for the watermark and for the golden seal, but even those can be fudged.
They can. They can be completely fudged, especially with today's apps that you can download on Androids and iPhones. Now,
people like me and Bree who have spent many years in school, we do find it a little bit insulting when people do shit like that, but also, too, we know the difference between, there's intellectually educated, and then there's also school educated, and there's also just educated and somebody who's very intellectual and smart. Because I can tell you right now, there are many life coaches out there that are doing their job and doing their job well that does not have a fucking degree compared to these fucking assholes out here that do have degrees and have gone to school, and then they do everything that they've been taught out of a fucking book. Now, right. Which I think it should be a little bit of... I think when it comes to certain practices, it should be a little bit of a flow between, learning what you've learned out of a book and then also to your own intellectual, knowing and stuff that you've learned on your own. But when it comes to life coaching and counseling, and even as a therapist, some people really should quit their fucking day job because some people do not have the bedside manner to be doing what they're doing, and some people really do only get into things for the money. There are many doctors out there that have no bedside manner, and they are very mediocre type doctors. They have, and they're only in the profession either for the money or is something they were pushed into, or because their father was a doctor, their mom was a doctor, or they just, it's just they would rather have been a ballerina. It's just
right. About the only arrogant doctors that I am somewhat okay with are neurologists. I've met a few neurologists that are not arrogant and who do have good bedside manners, but some of the top neurologists have no bedside manner, and that actually tends to be because a lot of them that I've met, and a lot of the neurophysicists and things like that I've met, they tend to be very Aspergian, and it's not that they don't have a bedside manner, it's literally they don't understand how.
Right, and you know what? And there are a lot of nurses that are like that too. That they're not like that. Oh, let me go get you. They don't They did not get into nursing to baby you. Like they went in there to do their fucking job, and because doing their job was what saves lives.
You know what? I have no problem telling you right now, as a nurse, as a bachelor prepared registered nurse, I have told a patient one time. Well, I've told more than one patient. Are your arms broken? No, but they hurt. Okay. When was the last time you moved them to feed yourself? 3 days ago? Well, then they're starting to atrophy. Why don't we work on this? I will stand in here and you do what you can, and when you can't do it anymore, that's when I will help you. If you need me to help you lift your arm and help you get that food to your mouth, I will, but I am not going to feed you, because my job is to get you better so that you can go out there and you can live your life and you can take care of yourself to the best of your ability. My job is to get you to adapt to the living situation that has come around as a result of your illness, and to get you rehabilitated. I feel the same damn way about spiritual stuff. We are getting ready to do a workshop to help explain some stuff. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about in this workshop is how my energy work is so much different than other people's, especially when it comes to cleansing of chakras and auras and balancing. I do not and will not cleanse multiple people's auras again and again and again. Why? Because when you sit down for an energy session with me, whether I am doing a shielding with you, a balancing, a cleanse, it doesn't matter. I teach you the tools as we are going through it. And when we're done with the session, I point that out to you. I point out, hey, how was this working for you? And if it wasn't working for you, you need to have been speaking up during the session, not after the session, so that I can change my programming during the session to make it work for you. Because it is my job as a spiritual advisor, as somebody who is spiritually enlightened, to put you on your path and say, here's your path. This is what you said you wanted. This is how you get there. You now have the tools. Use it. Come to me and ask me for help when you have a tree branch in your way that you cannot move on your own. Then I'm going to be there to help you. Otherwise, I'm going to expect that when you come to me with the understanding that I am also teaching you how to live your life to the best of your ability. I am not a crutch.
Thank you.
I am not a crutch. You know what? Yes, I need clients. Yes, I need to make money to live. But do you know what my soul needs? My soul needs to enlighten people. My soul needs to create an army of people who are out here to make a change.
And coming forward to change yourself, or to change, not even so much change yourself, but to help yourself or better yourself or your situation is always a starting point.
It is, because you changing yourself and other people seeing that you've changed yourself is, in fact, creating a ripple effect. When you go from being somebody who feels out of alignment all the time, and you get aligned and you're taught the tools how to remain aligned, how to do the breathing properly, how to visualize properly, how to do those things, and suddenly you go from being somebody who has all this chaotic energy to somebody, when you walk in the room, people look at you and go, damn, how did she get to be so centered? They're going to gravitate to you.
You know, and that's the thing that I've noticed a lot with in the metaphysical world of working and living is for people that are quote unquote life coaches and this and that, Brie, how often do I come to you for a tarot reading?
Hardly ever. How often do I come to you for a tarot reading?
Hardly ever. I just
More
usually ask
often
if
than
you just want one.
More often than you come to me.
Right. I mean, unless we're just sitting around and we're unless or some new cards or something like that. But
yeah. But there have only been a very few times that I've come to you and said, Melanie, I need you to pull a card for me on this situation. Because I have two
I'd say maybe twice in 9 months.
Yeah, and that has been because I have, in that moment, had such extreme choices to make that I needed to know what would happen if I made, not necessarily what would happen. I needed reassurance that the way that I was leaning was going to benefit my family.
Right, and also too, just the kind and like if I go to somebody for a reading, it's there's a lot of times if I go to somebody for a reading, it's to see how well they read, because not everybody is as quite as badass at cards as they think they are. I mean, even myself, I'm pretty good. I will toot my fucking horn all day long, but there are other readers out there that read tarot, better than me. But I when it comes to being a coach and a mentor and like just doing the things that we do in this occult world now, if I can't fix my own shit, the last thing I'm going to do is want to throw my shit onto somebody else to fix for me. And I am not a damsel in distress. And I'm one of those, I do not take unwanted advice and unwanted help. I don't like people forcing their help onto me. And I don't like people, and I can't say offering advice, because a lot of people, people offer a lot of unwanted advice, because if I didn't ask you for a tissue, don't hand me tissue.
Right.
I mean, I got my own right here in my purse. It's like, that's another thing that I've been noticing a lot. Well, not noticing, it's been chapping my ass here for, a good year or so, is, if we were in the same line of work, the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is bend over and cough for me. If say we're both doctors, and if I'm going through something in my life, or if I'm having some, trust me, I got it. I'm good. I got it handled. If I don't, then I will ask for help when needed. But that's the thing. Like everybody, like in this whole world, in this whole realm of the work that we do, they're so quick to offer out their services, or so quick to want to take their practice or take what they know and then just shove it off on everybody, and that gets to be exhausting after a while, because it's like, just because you deal with 101 different people in fucking distress doesn't mean no, if I go to my go-to people if I need some assistance, and a lot of times that's me.
And I go to my go-to people if I need assistance. There is one person in my life that knows absolutely everything that is going on in my life, besides my sister.
Yeah,
and even sometimes she doesn't know what my emotions are. There is one person in my life who is allowed to know my emotional state, my physical state, everything.
And you know what? And then that's another thing too. Like, you can't go and you can't tell your business to everybody, and you can't go to all these different psychics and readers and life coaches and mentors, because a lot of them really don't have your best interests at heart, and a lot of them love that you're in fucking distress and that you're going through some hard shit, because that just means more money in their pocket, or or some way to look down on you to where their life is better than yours, because a lot of people really do get off on that type of misery.
Sorry, I just saw something on Facebook that just makes me laugh. And let's talk about Facebook and the badges. The badges. I think we've talked about this before. But I'm looking at a badge that says Certified Reiki Master. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one down says Energy Worker. How is that not an oxymoron?
It's either one or the other.
It's not an oxymoron. It's redundant, because a certified Reiki master is what, Melanie?
An energy worker.
So why do you need to have that on there twice?
Right, because like with me, I do energy work, but I don't know shit about Reiki.
Exactly. You know what? I do energy work. I know how to do Reiki. I do. But I've never been certified in it, and I won't ever get certified in it. In fact, I don't get certified in a lot of shit I know how to do. Why? Because my skill speaks for itself. I'm not out here needing certification to prove I know how to to cast the spell.
Well, that's because you're seasoned and you're old school, and a lot of us that are old school and that's been doing this for more than 10 years, it's called the grandfather effect. We've been grandfathered in a long time ago.
Yes.
When it comes to certain things, now there's certain stuff I'm still learning, and I'm still learning, and there's things I want to learn.
Now I will get my certification in astrology.
Now I do want to be certified, and I don't want to be a Reiki master, but I do want to take some Reiki courses and be certified. But that's because, well, I have an interest in it, and that's why I do know a lot of people that do Reiki, but there's so many different styles of Reiki out there that it's like, what do I start with? Like, I have Luxana doing Kundalini Reiki with Natalia, and there's a couple of different reasons why I had picked Natalia over anybody else. Well, for one, she takes her shit fucking seriously. For two, she's the only person that I see out there that's proactive in what they fucking do.
Yes.
And plus,
yes.
And the other things that she's wanting. I mean, I picked her for multiple reasons, but and then plus somebody that I trust with my kid, and with me learning, it's a matter of which principle, which style I want to do. But when it comes to if I was to ever decide to be a Reiki master, I guarantee. Not only will I be able to do Reiki, but I would be doing yoga, probably Tai Chi with Taekwondo and Kung Fu, and I would not just only be an energy worker of energy, but I would be an energy worker of my own body.
Yes, and that's one of those things that
I'm old school about that.
A lot of these Reiki workers that are out there don't fucking do. They do not. Absolutely do not do their own shit. And it pisses me off. Do you know how often I go to somebody to actually help me do Reiki work on myself? If I can't do it myself, then there's something off. Now, every once in a while, if I am at a 9 out of 10 pain and I need immediate relief, I will ask somebody to boost me.
Now, I'm one of those. I'm in a lot of pain. Almost actually today is probably one of my lower, like, on a scale. It's like a 1. Not if even it's really low right now, but sometimes with my most maximum pain, I don't go running to the Reiki masters and energy workers that I do know to do free work on me because, well, for one, a lot of my pain.
You don't want anybody playing with your magic.
Oh, God, I don't know. I'm playing with not touching my fucking... Fuck that. You're not touching my energies. Not just that. Touching my energies, coming within my energy field and coming into my own personal space. I also know that a lot of the pain and a lot of stuff that I go through is not mine, being empathic to where I've literally... People that I connect with, especially if it's somebody that I connect with and still connect with, like... Just, like... The feet. Oh my God! You and Michelle Cook and Heather Ann. You guys were killing my goddamn feet. But I pick up on a lot of people's stuff, and it's just a matter of alchemizing it out and off of my energetic field. So
right.
So it's like why go? I need some. I need where you work on my chakra. It's like no. There's a lot more to that for me. It's a lot more than that. It's a matter of doing it myself, and I also know too that it passes. It will go. It will. How I work with my own energy, my body, it will work itself out. Now the stuff that can't get worked out,
it's like even you and I have talked when you're getting migraines and things like that, and every once in a while I'll go and especially if I notice it's not yours, that is when I will ask, do you want me to help move those energies away?
Yeah, and
versus if it's your own migraine, I know when it's your own migraine, and typically I let you suffer with that shit until you ask me for help, because I know that if I ask you if you want me to help you, it's going to piss you off more.
Yeah, because
you are a self-healer.
Yeah, and also too, self-healer with energy, and a lot of times my ass just needs to go drink some fucking water, drink some caffeine.
Exactly, and you recognize that, and it's like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the things that you already know how to do.
Right, you don't tell me to bend over and cough.
Right, because you know what? You're an intelligent fucking person.
Well, and then with going back to wrap the subject back around to, people, like not being able, they want to go and help other people handle their lives and control their, and do all this and offer up all this help when they can't even fucking help themselves. And it's like it gets to be kind of very annoying for me to watch people like the auctions, for an example. Why do we have a bunch of auctioneers just standing around with their hands in each other's pockets and just shifting money from person to person back around in a big circle?
Right. What would that be called? A circle jerk.
And then that's good. Or we have a bunch of psychics and a bunch of tarot readers and all doing stuff for each other. But like, what about your clients? Don't you? I work with a lot of mystics. I do, but they are not my fucking client. I mean, unless there's some type of agreement or something like that. There might be somebody I might be mentoring, but like it's people. It's just everybody's. It's just like one big old circle of everybody fucking each other when they could be out playing in the fields and fucking other people. Out there's they're all eating off the same fucking fish.
Right. Oh, we do a lot of bitch rants, but this one I think is a really good one because if you've gotten this far, what I hope you are taking away from this is that if you're dealing with the exception of magic, okay? If you are working with somebody in a field of spiritual advisement, their job is to empower you. And part of the way that they empower you is by teaching you how to do it yourself. And even with astrology,
I teach as I go.
Because not everybody can grasp the magnitude.
But I still try to teach as I go, though. I still try to teach as I go. Try to give them as much information to learn themselves or to learn bits and pieces from me, even as I'm doing the charts.
Themselves, yes. But like with magic and astrology, those are the two that I'm like kind of okay with you going, I'm going to leave that up to somebody else.
Right.
With the exception of personal astrology. You should know your personal astrology.
Oh God, people should. You should. If you can't remember what your sun, moon, and rising is, you're a fucking retard. Sorry, that's just, you know what, that's, actually, I'm not sorry. I am not fucking sorry, because if you cannot remember those 3 damn things off your fucking chart, how in the fuck do you sign your name? And that's just like with people, how do you not know your social security number? Like, and then the next thing is, how do you not know your blood type? But yeah, I'm understanding, a lot of people don't know their blood types, but you should at least know your sun, moon, and rising. You should know your blood type, your social security number, and what the fuck your first and middle last name is.
Absolutely.
And your birthday.
Absolutely. And you should know which side is your left and right.
Yep.
Even though you may get dyslexic and forget them sometimes, you still know when you're wrong. You know?
And also, too, if you're going out there and working with psychics and astrologers and Reiki Reiki workers and... Oh, I'm drinking a little water. Oh, no, I am not yawning. I'm not yawning. It's you've got to find the ones that that you're comfortable with, the ones that, are genuine, because I'll tell you right now, there are a lot of them out there that are not fucking genuine in what they do. They just want your fucking money, or they're just assholes, and they're in the work for the wrong reason. So, and there are a lot of good psychics and good, mediums and tarot readers and energy workers and Reiki workers, and there are some good ones out there, and it sucks that, we have to go through and kind of weed out, but there's a lot of them out there that are giving us a really bad, fucked up name because they're lacking the integrity or the actual intellectual knowledge of what the fuck they're doing, that happens. I see that all the time, and it's like, okay, just last week you were saying that you didn't know how to do something, and then you learned it, and now it's like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, it takes more than reading a book. It takes more than
Googling,
and even soul knowledge does not make you a master.
Right.
Applied soul knowledge for years.
Yes, and also too, in soul knowledge, when you get into soul knowledge, like when you just like realize, that's like remembering to remember something, but it goes a lot further than that, because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people out there that are offering up all these different services, and they don't even know what the fuck I'm sorry, but Google really does need to have a disclaimer on there that says, okay, listen up, dum-dums.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, one thing though I do like about Google is people do remember and learn better through Google than they do through school. But that still doesn't mean that it doesn't mean just because you've read it on Google or you watch it on a YouTube channel doesn't necessarily mean you know how to do it yourself properly and effectively and ethically and and in the best interest of people that you're trying to push it off on.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we touched base on students and teachers and people and their practices and when it comes to spiritual work and coaching and counseling, certification, because I've got certification and stuff. I've gone to college where, you've gone to school, I don't know about you. I just take a lot of little workshops. I like workshops though. Workshops and certain seminars and everything like that. As long as they're actually like going to be teaching something or doing something in their seminars. I hate seminars where they just want to sell you some stuff or get you to join their whatever. But it's, even as an astrologer, I love listening to other astrologers and numerologists and stuff. Not so much numerology. A lot of numerologists is kind of, it's, the only numerologist that I really, 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 really love, besides, KRS, is I do like the Rose Astrologer. I like, she, with her numerology, because she does, it's more of an astrological and, like a universal, like when she works with numbers. But most numerologists, everything the stuff that they've learned to do in their practice as a numerologist, you can buy the books and learn it your fucking self.
Yes.
I did that like 15 years ago. And whenever there's like new astrologers that cut like new astrologers, new astro sites, I check them out, because some of them are really fucking good. A lot of the new astrologers, and when I say new astrologers, I mean ones that actually spent more than, a couple weeks or a month or so learning. So, ones that actually took the time to learn the, from basics to advanced to, and even just up to advanced, they're really good. And then the ones, that done, mentorship or worked up underneath another astrologer, that are coming out the woodwork, some of them are fucking amazing. Way better than these old fucking timers who just want to print your chart on and get some money from you.
Right.
Because a lot of the old astrologers do it. The ones that charge like $300, $400, $600, and don't get me wrong. Yeah, they probably know their shit, but I like somebody that like actually has like they love astrology so much to where they can see just real true astrologers.
Yeah,
and they're coming out the woodworks.
It's like one of the things that I love being your mentee is okay, so I'm pretty sure this would be my Sagittarius search for knowledge, and my Leo need to be on top. Is like those index cards that I've been creating for myself, where I go through and you were like, oh, I'm so impressed. And I'm like, yes, I impressed my mentor. I did good.
Well, to up your ante, just so you know, Dragon Boy is learning houses. But see, I just tell, I usually tell him, and then he picks the tools of learning and do it as a, I do want to touch base on one thing that I just remembered. Okay, so I've been teaching my daughter how to cook, and it's been going on almost a year. It's been almost a year. God, Lord, help me. And the thing is, I've been trying to teach her is when you're learning from somebody, whether it's at a job, cooking, anything, learning anything, you learn it and do it the way you're being fucking taught. So if they say do it step like this, like this, like this, you do it exactly blah, 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 blah. And then after you've learned how to do it perfectly and efficiently and effectively that way, then you can add your little spin and twist on it. But until then, if I said don't add extra salt, don't add extra salt. If I said don't add extra butter, don't add extra butter. And if I say it's a cup and a half, it's a fucking cup and a half. Right?
Right. And one of the things which you know very well about me is I learn your way, but in order for your way to stick, I have to learn it my own way.
Right.
Because we went through the zodiac signs. I got those down, and so now I recognize, the house worked out the zodiac sign and blah blah blah.
Now, and learning the planets.
Yes, and we got that, but it's like you're trying to teach me the planets and what they mean, and in order for me to I have to take the whole concept at once. And you recognize this.
Well, yeah, and that's what they learn with Sagittarius, because I have taught Well, there's a couple of Sagittariuses that I've tried teaching astrology to. One thing I learned about Sagittariuses is when you're trying to teach them basic 101, they like skip ahead to like advanced 600 and whatever, but like, what's this? And how do I do that? It's like, slow the fuck down. We'll get there. But I've also learned that like some people, that's why I have different teaching methods when it comes with different people, because everybody learns differently. And
Right.
You are kind of a sideways learner.
I am a sideways learner. I have to look at the entire column and be able to see the entire column and see the equations as they branch out, and then I can take how column A and column B are able to conjunct and become column C, and that is how I very much learn. Like okay.
You don't learn step by step. You learn from step A to this to that and back around again from the beginning. Yeah, you kind of like learn all over the place.
So in
that's because you got a Uranian mind.
Little side story of the story in the mind of Storm Dancer. So when I was in 5th grade, my brother died. All right, and I was at a school that was just beginning to learn fractions.
Oh my God, I love fractions.
I love fractions too now, but I was just beginning to learn fractions, and like they had literally just opened up the book on fractions. 5th grade, moved schools, walked into the school, and the new school was ending fractions.
Oh so my God.
So I walked in and I'm seeing 3/4 equals, and I'm like, what? Right? So then now fast forward, I go into 6th grade, and they tried to put me in algebra. So first part of the semester, I couldn't grasp algebra because I didn't have the fundamentals, which are fractions. So they put me back in the second part of 6th grade, they put me back into pre-algebra. Because once I learned fractions, I was able to accelerate. I went from being in pre-algebra, which is normally 2 semesters long, so it would have been the last part of 6th grade, the first part of 7th grade, to taking first part of pre-algebra to getting rushed into algebra 1 and 2, algebra 3 and 4.
They skipped you through 6th and 7th grade?
No. Like, I went 6th grade, the first part they tried to put me in algebra. And because I couldn't understand it, the second half of 6th grade, they moved me back from algebra to pre-algebra, right? Which pre-algebra is normally 2 semesters long. So
yeah, I got pushed. They jumped me from took me from pre-algebra, put me into algebra. I got pushed up.
Well, yeah, see, once I got through the first like 8 weeks of pre-algebra, they were like, okay, she's got it, she's good, and I was like an algebraic genius until I had my brain damage in 2002. Like, I was a math genius. I could do math with the best of them. But, so once I got those concepts and I was able to apply them other ways, in other areas, they were like, oh shit, this girl's got it. So they didn't make me take pre-algebra 2. I tested out of that. I tested into algebra 1. And then I did algebra 2, algebra 3, and algebra 4. And I got like straight A's in all those. And then they tried to get me, then I took geometry. And I sucked at geometry.
Oh, I hate geometry.
Right. I'm not afraid to say I suck at geometry.
So do
However, I do have incredible depth perception, and I am great at Tetris. Which makes no sense.
Oh, I love Tetris.
However, so when I tried to take trig, it didn't make any sense to me, but calculus made sense to me, especially when I got into chemistry. Calculus made even more sense to me. So, I do have a very unique way of learning things. And everybody has their own way of learning stuff, and this, that,
see,
and the other.
I'm a hands-on learner.
But you know what? Even though I grasped the concepts of pre-algebra, and I didn't need pre-algebra 2, guess what? I still learned the concepts of pre-algebra 2.
Yep, so...
And that's my point there, folks. Sorry for the long ramble, but the point is even if you are able to advance ahead, take time to learn the small steps Anyway.
I've been doing astrology for over 20 years. I mean, and I'm saying actively every day, damn there. I mean, for a while there, I was doing it every day. I mean, there'll be periods where I do it every single day for months at a time. And I'll get so far, and they'll, maybe bring it down to a couple times a week. And like right now, it's only a couple times a week because I'm doing other things, which breaks my heart because if I don't get astrology into my life, I go crazy. And...
Right.
For 20 years, and let me tell you something, I still go back to the fucking basics. I still go back to, a lot of the easier stuff, because especially when I'm getting ready to take on something new or a new principle or a new method into something like that, into Occult, because it is all mathematical. And I know numbers, and I can better than spell. I can't spell for shit. I don't even know how I even spell my own name on things. But it's still...
kind of hilarious sometimes with you and your spelling.
I know, because I've been doing spell checks since I was a kid, and I should have never did that. Thanks, Mom.
See, my mom used to make me look things up in the dictionary.
See, that's something my dad would do. My dad would, yeah, but my mom's a sad. She doesn't mind things being easy.
Yeah. No,
but I still go back to the basics, and I still, go back and go over stuff that I've already learned to resharpen, because iron sharpens iron. Sharp minds sharpen other sharp minds. Dum-dums make other people dum-dums. Dum-dums, dum-dums. I need to have a dum-dum parade, because we got a lot of dum-dums, and they're all lucky that I'm not a troll. I mean, I like to troll. I do a little bit of trolling, I just don't leave comments.
Yeah. My favorite thing is people who troll you and then steal your shit and think that you don't realize that they're being a troll and watching your profile.
Dum-dums. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close out here. We're going, I think that we are... Oh, we're an hour in, so you know what? Yep. We're going to touch base on the subject again. Maybe bring in some other opinions of other people.
Before we go.
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to put a little plug out there because this episode should be out before our workshop.
Yep.
Melanie and I are going to have a workshop that is going to help people identify and really help them figure out where they need to be focusing their energies to start off or to advance on their path. If you would like more information about that, you can contact either of us.
Storm Dancers, either you got the two Storm Dancer pages, or hit me up on Water Barrier Inc.'s Age of Aquarius. But mostly you can catch me on Storm Dancers.
You can join our group, Storm Dancers Metaphysical Hangout on Facebook.
Oh, and there's the Peace Dealer.
We will link that bad boy up under this one so that you can join us. We have cookies.
She's got cookies. I got ass whoopings and dum-dum suckers.
Woo.
All right, here we go.
I'm joining your team.
And you know what? That's enough of Little Wayne there. I'd rather listen to some Nicki, because it's Nicki. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining. Electrical Essence and Storm Dancer. All right, you guys, have a good night.